The UN has convened these talks in Geneva that will start on Thursday. The Syrian government has sent a delegation. The Syrian opposition has also sent a delegation. They both arrived on Wednesday. But what's not clear at this stage is whether the two sides are actually going to meet. Certainly last time talks were held here in Geneva last April, the UN Special Envoy to Syria, Staffan de Mistura, spent the whole time shuttling between the two sides in proximity talks, but failed to bring the two sides together. At a press conference on Wednesday, the journalists here in Geneva pushed de Mistura to give more details about the format that these talks are going to take, but he didn't give any more information. He didn't say whether the two sides are going to meet. Certainly the hope is that things will become clearer when the talks get underway on Thursday morning here in Geneva. One thing de Mistura did say at a press conference on Wednesday was that he hopes that the ceasefire that's currently in place, albeit a fragile one, in Syria will make these talks run more smoothly. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
The Russian Federation, at the ceasefire task force, did announce to everyone and every country present and to myself that they have formally requested the government of Syria to silence their own skies in the areas touched by the ceasefire during the intra-Syrian talks.
Having said that, he did say that he has low expectations for these talks. He's not expecting a breakthrough. One of the problems is that many of the issues that have dogged talks in the past remain unresolved. And so on the one hand, we're expecting the Syrian opposition to stick to issues like the release of prisoners, the ending of government sieges, and most importantly for the opposition, a political transition that will ultimately lead to the end of President Bashar al-Assad's rule in Syria. And on the other hand, we're expecting the Syrian government to stick to their line that all armed opposition groups operating inside Syria are, in their words, terrorists. And the difference at this round of talks is that Assad is militarily stronger than he's ever been before. If you'll remember, at the end of last year, the Syrian forces retook control of Aleppo. It was a massive military defeat for the Syrian opposition, and it's highly likely that we're going to see the Syrian government delegation pushing that military advantage here in the negotiations if they don't get what they want during the negotiations here in Geneva. Kate Parkinson, CGTN, Geneva.